Welcome! Kletus Roadside Service. We're hauling ass through Kansas right now. 75 mile an hour down I-35. We're getting up to Wichita. Not up to, down to Wichita. I'm headed back out, going back to Alva. Yesterday, the way I set my shit up, really turned in today into being a very long day, which is perfectly fine. I need to get the hours. I can handle it. I got so much sleep last night. It's insane. Well, saying that now, it's 4:38. You know, I have another 5 hour energy. I could throw down the hatch, but I'm trying not to. I don't like taking those things unless it's like really, really needed. So now I got one on standby if I need it. I don't think I'm gonna need it today. Another cup of coffee would be nice, but I'm running up against the clock today. Uh, I only have 30 minutes of drive. My calculations is if I don't stop, which I already stopped, I got fuel, def. I should have taken a piss, but I didn't. If I just book it down, I don't even know what I was saying right there. My kids, they have an Alexa thing in their room, and they can call me whenever they want. And I already talked to the kids today. They called me on it. It's so cute for them to call me and everything. Just right in the middle of anything. I tell them, call me whenever you want. And but I had just talked to them, so I thought I thought it might be a little bit longer before they'd call me again. But they just called me, which is fun. I love hearing from them. I love just getting that random little call because they can call with Alexa, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. It's hooked up to like my phone, I think. So or my wife's phone. I don't know what it's hooked up to, but they can just say call, and then they say my name, and then it'll call me, and she can just my daughter and my son, they can just talk to me through that. Anyways, I've got a 5 hour energy. I'm not going to use it. The way I set up my day yesterday made today to where I have 30 minutes of time. By the time I get to my hotel, I should have 30 minutes left of drive time, which is 11 hours. And I have 14 hours I can be on duty. And then in order to reset that, I have to have 10 hours off duty. So, let's say 7:30, I go off duty. 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 5 a.m. 5:30 a.m. is when I can start back up legally. But I'm not waking up at 5:30. I do that sometimes here and there, especially on Monday morning. I have to. Well, I woke up at 4 a.m. on Monday morning, so I got everything was nice on Monday morning. But well, I didn't wake up. That's the thing. That's the whole fucking thing that I'm talking about, guys. I didn't wake up at 4 a.m. I was awake still. I could not go to sleep. I was tried to go to sleep. I jerked off. Usually that'll help you just pass out. Didn't help at all. I just sat there watching YouTube and TV, like, oh, turn it off. I tried that. I turned everything off. I'm laying there and I just hear myself breathing. And I'm like, it's keeping me up. And then of course, I tried turning everything off, and it maybe it would have worked, but I got bored, or I thought of something, and I just opened my phone up again, and then I looked at the clock, and it was 3:30. I was like, "Fuck me, dude! What am I doing here?" So, anyways, I when I got to the hotel last night, I think I got there. I was there for 20 minutes from the time I walked into the hotel till the time I was snoring on the bed, which was very good. It was pretty early. I think I went to sleep at like 6. I don't even know what time it was, but I went to bed really early compared to any other time that I go to bed. which was needed, and I expected to do that. I was like, it's a danger to have me on the road, and I am not taking a third 5-hour energy. So, got to the hotel, went to sleep, and woke up at 6:30 in the morning, totally unprompted, because I did not set any alarms or anything. I thought, oh, it'll be fine, and it was fine, but I think getting up at like 6 would have been a little bit better for me, but it doesn't matter, because today the only thing I had to do was drive back to the Kansas City area, get loaded, which that's not a schedule thing. It's just get here when you get here and get loaded, and then turn around and head back. So today I've just been, like I have this Geotab thing. It's my electronic logging device, my ELD, and sometimes it says you're driving when you're not driving. It's got like GPS and shit, and it's hooked up to the truck. So, I don't know. Usually whenever you stop, you have to stop for like 5 minutes. And if you have been stopped for 5 minutes, because it'll continue to say you're driving, but if you stop for 5 minutes, it will retract that 5 minutes and put you on duty. Sometimes it doesn't work all that great. There's been times where I've been stopped, or like at the load place, I'll get there and I'll stop at the gate, and I gotta get the gate open or whatever. And I technically, that should be not driving. I'm on a property. I'm not on the road. That's not technically driving. But if the truck starts moving, that's considered driving, obviously. So there's an exemption you can use, which is called yard move. And I put it on yard move as soon as I got there, or else, when I, from the time I get to the gate, and then I got to drive around the property, and then back up and park, and then it doesn't take that long to get loaded. Sometimes I'll hop back in the truck and take off, and I should have been basically on duty or break time, basically, for 45 minutes. But since I moved the truck around and stuff, it just doesn't log it. Or it just says that I've been driving the whole time, which is really annoying. So, anyways, to that, I just made sure to do that, to make sure it wasn't going to put me on driving, so I can save as much drive time as possible to make it back to my hotel in Alva. Because that's normally where I stay when I need to be there to get offloaded and everything. So that's the closest hotel. There's a couple in Enid that I could stay at, but I just don't like going to Enid. It's a big town. I don't want to go to a big town. I like staying in my small little town. Anyways, I go to the Holiday Inn. That's where I'm headed right now. I'm going to make it. I'm not going to have any problems. But if I do have problems, it's okay. I just got to make sure I turn my log off to on duty, because I think I still have like let's look at it. Let's look and see real quick, because I have 2 hours and 54 minutes of driving left. I've got 4 hours and 28 minutes of workday left, so I can technically stop for 1.5 hours, and as long as I click it to on duty, then I can drive again. But I have to log a break also. So every 8 hours you have to have a 30-minute break. So that's why putting it on yard move whenever I get to the place, it'll definitely log it. Because there's been several times where I've stopped somewhere, I've just looked at the clock, and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait like 31 minutes and then start rolling again, thinking that the computer in my phone is just going to go ahead and take care of it. And then, I'm just driving, and then a few minutes later or whatever, an hour later, it's saying, hey, you need to take a break. It's like, whoa, hey, bud, I did take a break. I was stopped at a truck stop for 32 minutes. But it didn't kick me off of driving, so it's like, motherfucker. Anyways, as long as I keep that paid attention to, we'll be all right. Now, talking about the video game a little bit. I'm not going to get into it a whole lot because there's nothing new yet. The guy messaged me and wanted me to schedule a meeting with the guy, and so they sent me email stuff to set up a Google Meet meeting or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Tomorrow at noon was the next available slot, so we'll do that. We'll do that at noon. They're on the East Coast, so I think it's 10 o'clock for them. Or no, it's 2 o'clock for them. They're in the future over there. But yeah, we're just having a good time today. Nothing's really pissed me off. Nothing's bothered me too much. I had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch. I got some special jam. Not really. It's not special. It's just Smucker's blackberry jam. My wife, she's like, do you want? I told her. I said, I want peanut butter jelly sandwiches. I need crunchy peanut butter and I need some good jam. I don't want just grape bullshit. Basically, I don't know. I need to look at this one and see. But it's just high fructose corn syrup jelly. I don't want that. Now this one could be high fructose corn syrup. It's right here. It's in my cooler. Let's see the ingredients on this bitch. Blackberries, high fructose corn syrup, fruit pectin, and citric acid. All right, so that's never mind. I got a nice glass jar with a metal lid, fucking jam. You would think it's some good shit. It ain't. I just ate a bunch of high fructose corn syrup for fucking lunch. Whatever. It tastes fucking delicious though. It's got blackberries in it. On some bleached white bread, yummy, with some peanut butter. Peanut butter's too far away. I can't get it. Crunchy peanut butter. I liked it. I liked it. It was good. I think, even though that's full of high fructose corn syrup, which one do you think is healthier? Two PB&Js or 2 slices of pizza? And scratch that. Who the fuck is buying 2? I'm buying 3. All right, so 3 slices of pizza and maybe even a Coke or something. I'll go over there, right next to the fucking pizza. They got the soda, right there. Maybe I would have grabbed a soda and 3 slices of pizza. But instead, outside of a chemical, well, not a chemical, it was a power plant. Outside of a power plant, I just sat there and I ate 2, no more than 2, PB&Js with crunchy peanut butter. And another, like a protein bar, and a bag of nuts. Lots of nuts going on. A lot of nuts going in and around my mouth today. That granola bar. It was more like a nut bar, but it's pretty good. But I've been drinking water today. I did stop. I got some coffee on my way up. I stopped and got me some coffee. And then, I got loaded. So my loading was a little different because, so I thought I had it kind of figured out. I have a weight gauge on the back of this trailer. It measures the pressure, I guess, in your airbags on your trailer. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it measures the air pressure in your airbags back there. Because your airbags are set to a certain height. They have a little metal bar that's hanging off of them. And so you can set the level, how far you want the airbags to air up, so they don't blow your airbags up, and they don't, you can set your ride height or whatever. That's all set up from the factory, and then, or my mechanics or something, I'm not sure. But anyways, somehow this thing measures it. So it's set. Somebody took this truck and this trailer to a truck scale to kind of calibrate it. All right, how much does the truck weigh? And then you enter that number into the full truck weight, not just the tractor, not just the trailer. You just enter in the weight of the empty truck and trailer, and you calibrate it. I'm guessing. I actually have not done it. And then as you load product on there, it knows how much. I guess you're adding air pressure because the truck wants to stay at this certain exact distance for axles from frame. So as you add product in there and make it heavier, it's going to start squishing down, but my truck is going to start adding air to the airbag. So it just decides on how heavy you are off of air pressure. That's the only way that really kind of makes sense to me. And I used to load up like right at 79,000 pounds is what that gauge on the very back of the truck would say. Run it up to 79,000 pounds, and I was within 20 pounds of 80,000 pounds when I would go offload, according to their scale. How old is their scale? How long has it been since their scale has been calibrated? I don't know. But I was getting so close to the exact right number that I wanted to be at. I want to get as much product taken down there without being illegal. And I'm only allowed to, my full truck, trailer, everything can only weigh 80,000 pounds legally on these roads out here. So anyways, the load I did at the end of last week, I was 1,000 pounds under, which 1,000 pounds at this scale isn't a whole lot. It's 1/40th is the way, because I can haul almost 40,000 pounds of product or waste or whatever. So I was 1,000 pounds underneath. I weighed exactly 79,000 without changing this gauge, and usually I've been right at where I need to be. So I was like, well, something has changed. Something's going on, and where I get loaded is the same exact spot every single time. I don't have the truck in any other orientation. The only thing that has changed, but doesn't make sense, is that I added a bunch of hoses on these trucks. Because I did load it the same exact way, and I was still really close to 80,000 a couple loads ago, whenever that was. And I thought, oh shit, I have all these hoses on my truck. Now I'm going to be, 50,000 over or whatever. I guess I didn't look at my fuel gauge either. So my fuel gauge may have been. Now I'm bringing other factors into it, because if you weigh your truck with a full tank of fuel, 120 gallons, it's going to weigh more than if you go there with an empty fucking fuel tank, right? So maybe that had something to do with it. But also the hoses on the trailer will also change your weight, because I've got 6 2-inch hoses, 2 6-inch vent hoses, and then on the other side I have 2 4-inch hoses. And I had been doing this whole run with 0 hoses on my truck, so I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of little factors, but I don't go through any weigh stations. There are 0 weigh stations that I'm going through. So it doesn't really. I mean, it does matter. I could get stopped by a trooper, and he can have a couple of scales in his trunk. And then we go through the whole process of him weighing my front axle, weighing my mid axle, weighing my rear axle, then weighing the trailer axle, And it's not a fun process to go through. I think I had to do it one time. One time I had a trooper get me and made me weigh my truck. I was hauling lumber, though, and I was in a 10-wheeler. And I barely had any fucking wood on me. I was like, you really, you can weigh it, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to be overweight. I was like, look, I'm halfway done with my route, so over half of the product is gone, and what's left is pine. It's like, don't tell me how to do my job. All right, wait up, bud. And then you, which is another interesting aspect of getting pulled over versus getting pulled over with a non-CDL. Because if you get pulled over with a non-CDL, you do not have to assist them in any of their investigation necessarily. So if it's like, yeah, we're going to weigh your truck. All right, well, now I have to sit here and assist you with moving my truck 5 times to get on the scales that you're putting out. And like, you are assisting in what could potentially be a ticket affecting you. Now, if you're in a car and they're like, you need a, I don't know, let's say they say you have a loud exhaust on your vehicle. I'm going to go get my decibel meter and I'm going to put it behind your tailpipe and I need you to rev it up. No. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to assist you in writing me a ticket for something you suspect me of. I'm not going to go over here and just like rev bomb the fuck out of it. I guess, and then if I do it, and I just won't just barely rev it up, that's tampering with evidence, basically. That's like, you're changing the evidence against you, So I don't know. It doesn't, like, am I just supposed to, what if I damage my engine during a rev test? Andy, I don't know. Some would say even just rolling your windows down so they can check your tint is also assisting in it, which I get. It's like, so if they say roll your windows down, roll all your fucking windows down, and then I guess you could refuse to roll them up, because that would be assisted. Like, oh, if I roll up my window and you check it and it happens to be too dark, you're going to give me a ticket. So, no, I'm not going to assist you in your investigation. You're going to need to go get a warrant to enter my vehicle, and then you can roll up the windows and all that shit. And then it's like, I don't know. It's a bunch of BS. Oh, I got a trooper pulling up on me right now. I don't want to change lanes in the fucking picture lane. Anyways, so yeah, I don't even know why I got on this. Oh, just because of just talking about my weights and whatnot. So, anyways, we're headed down here. We're gonna have a good time. I will be stopping, but I'm gonna make sure I go off duty, break time or whatever, because I'm gonna stop and I think I'm gonna just go to that barbecue restaurant again. That was a delicious meal I got last time, and they got some other shit that I'd like to try. So I'm gonna go to that barbecue restaurant and try that out. So I got a trooper here, and he's really fucking up my flow. I'm like, all right, I know you could pull me over. You could do it. Are you gonna do it? I don't know. I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to do a podcast here, man, and your presence is really, I can't focus. Can't focus at all. Anyways, yeah, the video game thing that'll be happening tomorrow noon, and I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna be on a chat call with him, and I don't know. Apparently they have an idea, and I don't know what they need input from me to do with it. Like, I'm not like, there's definitely other people that play the game and are much more invested in it than I am. So I'm wondering, I'm just kind of curious because there's other map creators that have featured maps that are way more friendly when it comes to this guy than I had ever been. Me and him have had little spats here and there, so it's just kind of weird. There's a lot of guys over there that would suck his cock to get another map featured. Why aren't you guys talking to that guy? It's weird. It's kind of weird because I've been out of the scene for a long fucking time. I guess I can kind of give you a little bit of a yeah, here we go. I messaged him. The last time I talked to this guy was August 2023. So it's been a while since I've talked to him. It's just weird that he messaged me, but I don't know if I can get in there and I can talk to the CEO of Battle Creek Games. Maybe I can, be like, hey man, I know everybody else tells you everything's great and grand and everything's great, but I got some issues, man. Don't make the Suzuki Samurai bigger than an F-350 dually long bed crew cab. Why is the Suzuki Samurai so goddamn big? And then other map stuff. I don't know. I do have a story I want to talk about. Kind of a crazy thing that happened to me. And listen, hey, no matter what happens, whatever you guys hear, the tone of my voice, things that happen in this story, I'm still friends with these guys, and I still love and respect them, and I feel like they love and maybe they respect me also. We're all friendly. This happened a long time ago, and we're still all good friends. And I'm so part of me is so happy that this happened to me because it's really funny. I think it's super fucking funny, but it was. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it a little bit. So, let's go back to, I don't even know what year. I don't know. I think I was driving, so I think I was like 16. It had to have been really like right at 16 years old. And I had this other buddy, Kurt, and he was like 2 years older than me, and then maybe 3 years older. And then I had this other buddy, Jared, and he's 2 years older than me. I think maybe one. I don't know. But they were a grade above me. So, anyways, so we were all friends. We all hung out all the time. I would sneak out of the house and I would hop in usually Kurt's truck. He always had cool shit. Jared also had cool shit. He had a Dodge Avenger, was his very first car, which is not really a cool car, but it was nice, and it had a K&N air filter. We thought it sounded cool and everything, and it was clean. Kurt, he had a Bronco, and it had the removable top on it. So, anyways, it was where this kind of went. I don't know. We would just do this all the time, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where I am in my timeline. But I ended up staying the night over at Kurt's house one day. So I slept down in the living room. He slept upstairs. His sister also lived there. His mom and his dad were also living there. And so I'm just sleeping, and I wake up. His sister came downstairs. And let me just kind of preface this as his sister was pretty dang cute. She's pretty cute girl. And I think she was 15. So she was just 1 year younger than me. And she came downstairs, and she was just like making a bowl of cereal or something, making a bunch of fucking noise. So I ended up waking up, and she like turned on the TV and sat down on the couch, like right next to me. And I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Where's your brother? That's always your first thing. Where's your brother at? She's like, he's sleeping. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, do you want to play Nintendo? And you're kidding me. I've run into this fucking car. Me and this car were fighting over here, and now I'm running into them again. You motherfuckers. You slow bitches. I don't have time to go 70. Watch, I'm going to pass them, and they're going to speed up. Might not be the same car. Anyways, so she wanted to play Nintendo 64, which is fine. And this is a nicer, pretty big-ass house. And so I don't know why that really matters. I guess it does matter right here. She said, hey, let's play Nintendo 64. I bet you I can beat you at Mario Kart or whatever it was. I don't know. I don't even know what the game was. And we grabbed the controllers and grabbed the game, got it all hooked up to the TV or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, the controllers are corded, and their couch is far away from the TV. So we had to grab some bar stools from their kitchen island or whatever and bring them over, and we just sat them next to each other, and we started playing Mario Kart or whatever game it was. Her foot came over to my chair. Listen, I'm not a guy to hit on or make a move. I'm not that guy. So she puts her foot on my chair. I'm not lying about this. This happened so long ago. Even if I made a move, I would tell you. This was her. She put her foot on my chair. Two minors just ate some breakfast. We're both in, I think I slept in my clothing. She was not in her, normal clothing. She is wearing booty shorts and a crop top shirt. And she's kind of fucking cute, okay? She puts her foot on my chair. And then her foot touches my foot, and I move my foot away. Her foot comes back over and touches my foot again, and this is where I start putting it together. I'm like, this was not an accident. This is not an accidental foot touching. This is intentional from her. She's making a move on me. There's something happening in my pants because this is not anything at all what I was expecting to happen. And so we play the game. She wins because I cannot focus. She says, I bet you I can beat you in pool too. And I'm kind of fucking excited. I'm like, oh yeah? I bet not. She's like, let's go in the basement and we can play some pool. Because they had a pool table down there. So we go downstairs, and as soon as I passed that threshold, I don't know. We go down there, we're picking out pool sticks, I'm rolling it on the table, she's rolling it on the table, she's like making eyes at me, and I'm making eyes back at her, because I'm like, we've had buddies in the past, in the same friend group, that dated other buddies' sisters. So, I don't know, I guess I was trying to use that as justification for me to do what was about to happen. Now, we didn't have sex. I didn't have sex until I was after 18. If there ever was going to be a time that I had sex before I was 18, this was the time. So anyway, she hops up onto the pool table, and I'm like, your brother would definitely not allow you to fucking put your ass on his pool table. But she brings me in, and then I start touching on her thighs and her titties and her boobies and whatnot, and she's touching all over me, and we're making out. And a thought did come into my head. I'm like, I spent all night last night drinking, smoking cigarettes, and chewing tobacco. I have not brushed my teeth at all. The only thing I have to mask the flavor of my ashtray mouth is some like Fruity Pebbles. So this is, uh, on top of all that, it smells like milk in my mouth. So, well, we are going at it. She was frisky as fuck. She like played t-ball and volleyball and all kinds of sports and stuff. So she was in shape, and I was also a pretty good looking guy back then. I mean, this didn't happen to a fugly fuckhead that was fat as fuck. This was I was actually a pretty good looking little guy back then. And anyways, we start making out and everything, and it's getting intense. But we hear I think I heard some movement upstairs, and I said, we gotta go. We gotta quit. I gotta get this boner pulled up into my fucking underwear band and figure out just get out of here. But I did get her number. I said, give me your cell phone number. She gave me a number. I folded it up, put it in my pocket. And I was so like interested in continuing what we had started. Now, I don't know what else happened that day. I I hung out with her brother probably for a little bit, and then we left. And then I ended up going home, and that night I pull out the number and I call it. Or I texted it. I don't know. I called or texted it. I'm pretty sure I just texted it. And I said, hey, what are you doing? You know, because that's what you do. That's what you say. No response. No nothing. Totally forget about it. Which is kind of crazy, but I think like a few days, if not a week, had passed, and I just didn't think of it at all. I was like, all right, that was like a one-time thing. She was sleepwalking. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on, but that definitely is not for me, and it didn't happen. And now that's just going to go away. It's going to be awkward every time I see her, but whatever, it'll be fine. I've been through some awkward situations before. I think we'll be all right. And then these guys, these two buddies, they call me up one day, and it's kind of weird because I think it was normally I would call them up, or they would call me up, but it was only to sneak out of the house. They called me up in the middle of the day. They said, hey, what are you doing? I said, just hanging out at home. They're like, we're going to come pick you up. I said, oh, cool. What do we got going on today? They're like, oh, not a whole lot. We're just going to come pick you up. So they roll into the house over to my mom, where I used to live at my mom's house, and they're like, come on, let's go. So I go out, and I believe it was the Bronco. Get in the Bronco, and they sit me in the back, and then they're like, hey, we're taking you to a really secret place that we don't want anybody to know about. So we have to blindfold you. And I was like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. They blindfolded me. And they were like, hey, I bet you can't get out of these handcuffs. Or some bullshit like that. So they put handcuffs on me. And I was like, okay, guys, all right, it's been a while that I've been back there, and they're just like doing stuff or just like acting normal, but with me blindfolded and handcuffed in the back seat, and I have no fucking clue. I'm not picking up on shit. I just think this is fucking dumb. Anyways, we roll out. We start going down a dirt road and stuff, and they're swinging the truck around, and I'm falling over here and there and everything. And then they stop, and they're like, "We're here." And then they open up the doors, and they pull me out, and then they pull the blindfold off of me, and they're like, "Do you know where you're at?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure I'm at your grandma's farm." He's like, "No, we're not." I'm like, "Okay, pretty sure that's where we're at." And Kurt is standing there, and he has a baseball bat, and he's like, "Do you know why we brought you out here?" I was like, no, I actually don't know. And he's like, is there anything that you want to tell us? I'm like, um, what are we doing tonight? Like, what are we doing? What's going on? Like, I don't know. And he's like, why did you text my sister? And I was like, what? Oh, and then that's when all the shit started rolling back into my head. I'm such a dumb fuck. I'm like, oh shit. Uh, listen, hey, listen, guys. It's not what you think. He's like, what did you do to my sister? I'm like, okay, relax, man. I'll tell you everything. And he's over there like just putting the bat in his palm, just swinging it and shit. And this is before the Walking Dead thing. So if I had seen that Walking Dead thing, the Lucy bat and everything, and then this happened, I would really probably been freaked out. But I was like, you guys aren't gonna beat me up. Like, you guys aren't that type of. I'm like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, all of your tactics that you're using right now are really kind of fake. I know they're fake. You're not gonna fucking beat me up. But anyways, I tell him, I'm like, dude, I touched her thigh. He's like, what else? I'm like, we kissed. He's like, why did you do that? I was like, dude, she wanted to play fucking Mario Kart, man, and her toes came over to my chair, and then she wanted to go in the basement. I was like, brother, I'm not like, I'm not putting anything out there. Like, do you think I'm charming enough to get your sister? Like, I don't know, but your sister is definitely charming enough to get me, some fucking dummy. Anyways, they take the handcuffs off me and all that shit, and they're like, are you telling us the truth? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. She came on to me. I didn't know what else to do, and then, yeah, she gave me a number. He's like, do you know whose number she gave you? I was like, her number, I guess. I don't know. He's like, that was my mom's number. I'm like, wow, that's not cool. He's like, yeah, it was really fucking awkward when we're sitting around at dinner time and my mom's phone buzzes and she gets a text message from you. And she was like, I just got a text message from some random number. And so he was like, let me see what number it is. And, I'm just kind of guessing on what happened here. And so he typed the number in, and then it came up as my name. And so it's like, that motherfucker. And then it was probably awkward also because his sister's sitting there, and she knows what's going on, and I don't know. But anyways, I was kidnapped. For real. I was for real kidnapped. And if these guys, there are definitely some people that I've hung out with in the past that probably would be very upset and probably hit you with a baseball bat in the head in the middle of nowhere because you kissed his sister or something. There's probably some dumb fucks that I hung out with that would actually do that. These guys would never do that. I knew what they were doing. They were trying to be tough and everything. But honestly, we've had so many friends intermingle with sisters and whatnot in the friends group that it really wasn't that awkward. And anyways, it was fucking just dumb. Anyway, so this is the guy that's got the El Camino that I went over to ride with the other day. And then the other guy that was supposed to meet us is the dude, the sister's brother. And anyway, so I'm still really friendly with those guys. And that, honestly, we hung out for years. I mean, everybody kind of grew up and got families and stuff. So we don't really hang out very much at all, if at all, anymore. But them two, they still hang out quite a bit. So anyways, yeah, so it's like, honestly, I probably should have been upset at them for that. But I knew it was all just like, I knew nothing bad was going to really fucking happen. I was like, you guys are fucking goofy as shit. You guys are the worst fucking kidnappers ever. I mean, you did pretty good. You got me in a blindfold and handcuffs and got me out to an area, but I knew exactly where the fuck we were, and and I knew that just because I kissed your sister, you weren't gonna beat me up. So, anyways, fast forward a little bit, quite a bit, up until the other day when I was hanging out with him. I was like, oh, where's Kurt at or whatever, and he's like, oh, he's not coming, and then he's like, yeah, his sister's married now. I was like, oh, interesting. He's like, you remember all that? I was like, yes, yes, I remember all that. And so we were talking about it a little bit, but I'm not trying to, you know, put anybody down anywhere, but he was like, he's like, yeah, she's married now. I was like, oh, interesting. I have no affiliation with her whatsoever. Like, I'm pretty sure, like that I think I saw her a couple more times after that, but there was not anything there. And yeah. So, um, yeah, she's married now. I was like, oh, cool. He's like, yeah, she's married to the coach over at the school. And I'm getting to the age where people in my age group or slightly above, um, are in those positions. Like, I know people that are teachers at the school that I went to. It wasn't, I was like, oh, interesting, cool. Like, I'm glad she got, she's with the athletic director of the school or whatever, or the coach or whatever he is. And she was also really into sports also, so that's cool. He's like, yeah, he taught her. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, yeah, he's way older than she is. I was like, whoa, buddy, that is not, you do that. Holy shit. He's like, yeah, it's really awkward. Which is fine. She's probably 20, well, she's over 30. If she was 1 year younger than me, and I'm 34, almost 35, she's 34 years. So she's 34 years old. She's dating a 60-year-old person. That's not crazy. I mean, but it is a little bit weird. But you've seen weirder. There are people think that girls can turn 18 years old and it's okay to get married. It's like, yeah, that's really awkward. I don't know. I don't know. Like, of course, that's the law that a girl has to be 18 or whatever, or with 17 with parental consent and stuff. It's like, what? So many marriages end in divorce. Why the fuck are you giving consent to a 17-year-old to get married? Like, I don't know. Or they claim that they're not affiliated with the family anymore. They're like, I'm old enough or whatever. I don't know. But it's like, hey, listen, you can't even rent a car yet. You shouldn't be getting married. Now, I'm saying that, I think I was 25 and I got married. So I was right at least in America, I think, in order for you to qualify for rental car insurance, you have to be 25. So, I don't know. I think 25 is a good thing, but I'm also not here to trample on people's rights. I know they just recently they made the smoking age, the tobacco age is now 21 with alcohol, and it used to be 18, and it used to be 18 for alcohol and I think 16 for tobacco, and they just keep upping it. None of this shit's good for you. You shouldn't do it at all, but I don't know. I don't know if people that were like 14 years old and then they were like, oh, only a few more years and I can start chewing tobacco, and then they change it to 21. I don't know if those people were grandfathered in and you have to wait a full life cycle of people that are born after, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but anyways, it was just, so it's honestly not that awkward, but it is kind of weird to think of a grown adult that's teaching somebody in high school, I'm hoping high school at least, eventually gets romantically involved with one of their students. Like, I don't know, college professors, that's a totally different deal. Like, everybody's of age, or you would think, or of age. That's totally different. Like, yeah, college professors are going to get their dick sucked for and give out an A. That makes sense. But for a high schooler, I don't know. I don't know. But there, like I said, she's 34. If she wants to date a 70-year-old man or marry a 70-year-old man, go for it. They both like sports. So, anyway, I don't want to make that the topic of it. The topic of the podcast is I got kidnapped for feeling up her leg. And I don't know. Not that I would ever consider marrying her at all, but you never know what could have happened if maybe she gave me her number and she texted me back. But now, I like to think of it now like, hey, like Kurt, you cherish your sister so much. Now looking at the future, would you rather her have ended up with somebody, that's one of your friends, or the stinky old dirty coach? Like, just, I don't know. Like, hey, don't be kidnapping people and threatening them with a baseball bat. They could be your number one choice, or maybe not your number one choice, but hey, a better candidate for marrying your sister than a dirty, stinky football coach. I don't know. I don't think I would have. I think if things had gone a little bit further, it would have just been a little bit of a fling. It would have been awkward. It could have actually ended the friendship more if we were more romantically involved, and then I broke up with her. I think that would have been a bigger blow to our friendship rather than just feeling her up and then never talking to her again. I think things happened exactly the way they should have. I have a beautiful, lovely wife, two amazing children, a house, a car, 2 trucks, a dirt bike, 3 dogs, uh, good family, good friends. Everything is really good. I like that. Yeah, I could use some more money. That would be great. But looking at my assets, I'm pretty fucking stacked. Not gonna lie. Doing much better off than some other people that maybe I went to high school with. One of the kids in my high school got hit by a car. He's not around no more. Poor guy. I mean, this was probably 7 or 8, maybe even longer. It was a while back, but yeah, he poor guy. He never got out of town. I barely out of town, but I don't know. Poor guy. I watched this. This is the guy that I watched blow both of his ankles out. He jumped. It was in middle school, and we had a very long staircase outside of the gym, and we were all walking out of gym, and then he ran to the top of the staircase and he said, "Hey, everybody, watch this!" And he ran on the platform above the staircase and jumped. And when he jumped every stair. He didn't land on the stairs. He jumped all the way and shattered his ankles upon impact. It's fucking insane to see. I was like, oh shit. Both of his ankles just went kablam. He was not a smart guy. Maybe he was trying out for Jackass. Nobody had a camera on him. But anyways, that poor daredevil guy ended up getting smoked by a car. He was trying to cross the highway to get to his job, I think. Or maybe he just popped out of a K-hole and was on his way somewhere. I don't know. But poor guy. I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want I don't want anybody to die. I think everybody deserves a chance. People can turn everything, their entire life around almost at any point in their life, you know. So he hadn't made it to that point, I don't think, but poor guy. We also had a couple of suicides that were kind of hard to deal with, like in high school. One of the guys, I guess it's kind of turning a little bit dark here. I guess try to make light of it as much as I can, I guess. But it was in high school. There's a guy. So what he was known for, he was like he was in the top 10 of the world on Dance Dance Revolution or some shit. I don't know. He had his own setup at home. It's like, I don't know how many people were in the ranking of being good at Dance Dance Revolution or DDR, but he was high as fuck on there. And he was a cool ass kid. He got into drugs and whatnot. So, anyways, I remember he was in my gym class or weight training class, and then he called me one night, which I didn't even know he had my number, because I didn't hang out with him at all, but I'd seen him in school and stuff. And he called me and he was like, "Hey, there's a park next to your house, and I put some drugs there, next to the pole or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know where it was, but he's like, I put some drugs over there. I need you to go over there and get them for me and bring them to school for me." And I said, "No." I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And he's like, "You can have some." And I'm like, I wasn't even into drugs at all or anything. So I was like, "No." He's like, "Don't be a square." I'm like, I am in bed, man. I got my teddy bear. I'm laying in bed. I am not going to the park at 11 o'clock at night to grab your drugs. Like, what are you talking about, man? And then I don't know what else happened with all that, but I know it was shortly after that he ended up taking his own life, which was pretty bad, pretty sad. He was a really popular guy at school. Like, a lot of people liked him. I liked him. I thought he was a cool guy, but I'm like, I'm not going to pick up your drugs for you. So I don't know. It wasn't. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I think me getting those drugs for him would not have prevented anything else that happened in his life. So I'm not taking responsibility for that. But it was very awkward to get a phone call from a very popular kid at school that I did not know he knew how to get a hold of me, and then he asked me to go get him drugs. Weird. There's another kid. He was a cool ass kid. He liked to hang out with the nerds, which was cool. He was like a cool guy, and he also hanged out with the nerds. And they went to an abandoned building, and they were on the roof of the building, and then the roof collapsed, and where he was standing, I guess. And there was fatter people than he. He wasn't even fat. He was in good shape. There were really fat people with him up on that roof. I don't know how the fatties didn't crack the roof, but he cracked the roof and he fell down and died. And then they had to try to get a hold of the building operate. I heard the story and it was not good. I hope I didn't pass my fucking exit. Did I pass my exit? No, I did not. I still got 8 miles to go. I don't know. Other people have died. There was one kid. Well, he wasn't a kid at the time because it was after he had graduated, I believe. But he was older, but his girlfriend was a girl that I went to school with, and it was a freak accident because a tire, from what I heard, a tire came across the highway and hit him. He was driving a car, and it smoked him. a tire flew off and smoked his car, uh, and got him. Crazy. And then that girl ended up overdosing later on in life. There's another girl that she became paralyzed right after high school. Smoking hot, cool as fuck, popular. And then she got in a car crash, and then she was in a wheelchair. Now I did see her several times after high school, like years later on, and she had a Kia Soul. It was either a Kia Soul or a Scion XB. I don't know. It was one of those little fucking box cars, and she had it rigged up to where she could just roll her wheelchair up to it and get in there, and then she had all these controls and shit so she could drive a car. There's also another girl that got paralyzed. I didn't go to high school with her. I worked with her at the gas station. And crazy enough, the dude Jake that I ended up getting hired on there, or no, he got hired on. There's a weird story, but me and this Jake guy, we became pretty good friends eventually. And he was dating this girl. They both met at the gas station, and then she was headed over to his house, and he lived kind of rural, and she did not yield crossing the highway and got smoked by another car, and then she didn't lose her legs. She still got them. They just don't do anything. So she's in a wheelchair. She's a paraplegic. So that's sad to see her like that. And then they broke up. I thought he was going to stick it out with her. But he was like, I want a girl that walks around. So they broke up. Coming over, fucko. This semi truck was trying to get up right next to me, right as I'm trying to get over for a fucking pulled over semi. Give me 5 seconds, bitch ass. Jesus, now you can come across. You can come around now. I think it's Maverick. Anyways, I got 2 hours before I need to log out. Just got a notification for that. Yeah, I don't know. High school was a good time. High school was a good time. I remember, I guess it was like middle school. So we went kindergarten through first grade, or sixth grade was elementary school. 7th and 8th grade were middle school, totally different building. And then high school was 9 through 12, 4 years of high school. Now, I don't know. I thought that was pretty standard across America. Apparently that's not. Some people do 6th, 7th, and 8th. Some people just have, I don't know. I don't know. But that was my situation. And I remember going to middle school, and I was not okay with going to middle school. First off, lockers. I don't know how to do a locker. I do now, but at the time, it took me both of those years in middle school to figure out how to use a fucking locker. Forgetting the combo or locking yourself out. I remember my first day of middle school, I was kind of running late or something. And I got into the classroom, and the teacher was like, "No book bags." And I'm like, "Whoa, hey, first time here." Like, I'm still a 6th grader, bitch. Like, I'm not 7. This first day of being 7th grade, and you're gonna yell at me as soon as I walk in here and yell, "No book bags." And she sent me out of the room, and she's like, "No book bags." And so I get out of the room, and I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck to go. So I went to the office, and they're like, "Hey, are you late?" I was like, "Well, no, I went to class, but they said I need a locker." I don't know. Like, this is shit I should have probably already had figured out, but I didn't know. So, first day of middle school, I went from having I was the oldest kid at the school. I had already been through, recess, all that good shit, and then I'm just thrown into this fucking shit, and then I get yelled at, like, immediately. And it was just super awkward. But middle school was pretty cool, I guess. That's when I was able to start riding my bike to school. Because my mom's house still currently is, you could, if you were really good at throwing a baseball, you could throw a baseball towards the school. You wouldn't hit the school, but you'd if you're not familiar with how far a baseball could get thrown by a human, you would probably make the assumption I could throw a baseball and hit the school from where your mom lives. No, sir. In fact, you can't. But that it is still pretty close. It's not close enough you could throw a fucking baseball and hit it, but it is pretty fucking close. And I would ride my bike to school. That was always fun. I thought that was the coolest shit. And that's where I met even more. I don't know if they're lifelong friends. Well, I mean, not. But there was definitely some other people that I became friends with because we rode bikes. It was like, oh, I'm a bike rider. Like, are you gonna ride the bus, or are you gonna ride or be a walker, or is your parents picking you up? It's like, bitch, I ride a bike. I'm the freest kid at this school. I ride a goddamn bike. Okay? Nobody can hold me in this school. I can walk out those doors, and I don't even have to call my mom. I can just ride my bike. So, anyways, there was these other kids. There was one guy that he had a bully mentality, but he was actually kind of cool. But he was also kind of a bully, and he tried bullying me a little bit. And we were riding bikes, and I remember we were right next to the school, and I had noticed he does not have any. He was poor. He had no brakes, no brakes at all on his bike, and he didn't have like the thing you can pedal backwards and have brakes. He had no brakes at all, and so I would pick on him so much. Like I picked on him so much he was shocked that my little nerdy self, was picking on him, because he was like, I'm tough as fuck. Why are you picking on me? And I picked on him a whole bunch, and then I would try to get him to chase me, is what I was trying to do, and then I would start riding down the big ass hill, and then I hit my brakes, and he couldn't hit his brakes. This happened at least one time. I know it happened once. I don't know if I did it any other than that. But I just remember he was so mad, and we just started riding down the hill and going faster and faster, and then I hit the brakes, and then he just flew past me, and he could not stop. He has his feet just on the ground trying to stop, and I just stop and turn around and ride home. He knew where I lived. He could have fucking probably found out where I lived and gone there and beated me up or something, but he didn't. It was just, I thought it was so funny that I was poking fun at him, and then, you ain't got no brakes, bitch. Then right away. And then I guess that brings me into high school. Yeah, middle school, I don't know. Saw a kid blow out his ankles. I had to get naked and shower. That was weird. Didn't like that at all. We even had the girls coach, because they segregated us. There were girls go over here, boys go over there, and there was a boy girls coach, and he would go into because the locker rooms were set up the same, I believe, but I never went into the girls room, obviously, but like our coaches or our teacher's office was right there at the showers, and he had the blinds opened up and everything, and would watch. I don't know if he would sit there and watch a shower, but he could definitely open his eyes and see a bunch of little dicks. That was weird. I couldn't see my dick. My dick never saw the light of day over there. I would damn near wear underwear and go get washed up. And I remember he's like, something's going to start growing in your crotch if you don't wash your dick. And I'm like, hey, listen, I can go home and clean up at the end of the day. I don't think working out and then He's like, you're going to be sweaty in class. You got to clean up. And I'm like, no, how about no? I'll be fine. Anyways, yeah, I had to go in there and at least get my hair wet every day and try to fucking cover my little cock up. So that was weird. But we always thought that the girls coach, we were like, can't believe you watched them get undressed. And then we would all, sit there and we're like, man, I can't. How cool would it be if we could see into the girls' locker room and everything? There was always they would say, oh yeah, there is a hole in the wall you can look through and you can see the girls' locker room. There wasn't. There definitely was not. So they were like, you just can't find it. So yeah, that was a little weird, doing that. And then I go to high school, and I think I showered only sometime, like barely ever would I ever shower at the high school. I was like, no, I don't need to do that. I'm not an adult, but I also don't need anybody to tell me to take a fucking shower, get naked with a bunch of boys. Not doing it. So, yeah, I don't know. Middle school, good times. So, me and my friend Anthony, he lived opposite. You could not throw a baseball to his house, but if you weren't really good at knowing how far a baseball could be thrown, you could say you could throw a baseball and hit his house. But you can't. You definitely cannot. But he was still pretty close. So, but he was opposite direction of my mom's house. So, like, some people would say I could throw a baseball halfway to Anthony's house from my house. And it's like, actually, no, you can't. You might make it an eighth of the way to Anthony. You're not going to throw a baseball halfway to Anthony's house. So, anyways, go to Anthony's house. He came over to my house one day after school, and we hung out at my house. And then I wanted to go to his house, and guess what? The way to go to his house was go through the school parking lot. And we're riding through the school parking lot, and I don't know. We looked in the dumpster. Don't know what compelled us to look into the dumpster, but we looked in the dumpster. And guess what we found in the dumpster? Probably 50 years worth of Playboy magazines. I'm not shitting you. There were, like, those paper boxes, several of them, full to the top of Playboy magazines. We went to extreme lengths to get these Playboy magazines to Anthony's house. I was like, I'm gonna carry it. I'm gonna throw this box on your handlebars, and you're gonna hold on to it. And I need you to hand this one up to me and put it on my handlebars, and then let's hopefully nobody stops us, because then we're definitely gonna have these taken away. Somebody's gonna see two little boys with, I don't know, a shitload of fucking Playboys. And we took him to Anthony's house, and we hid him underneath his bed. I'd really love to talk to Anthony again and try to find out what happened to the Playboys. I bet you his dad would have said, oh shit, these are worth something. Or, oh shit, I just threw these away. Or, I don't know. I think it was his stepdad. I think his stepdad would have been, he definitely would have taken them away, but not because he doesn't want us jerking off, because these are valuable. Because I'm telling you, somebody had a collection of Playboys, and their wife got upset at them and made them throw them away. And where are you going to throw them away? Oh, how about the recycle bin at the middle school? That's a great place to throw away a fuckload of Playboys. And internet was around, but you had to wait 8 minutes to see one titty. Then somebody calls your house, and you're like, God damn it! Who's calling the house? I just lost my whole internet connection. Because there's dial-up. Somebody would call your house right in the middle of loading up a picture of Paris Hilton, a night in Paris picture. Anyways, Yeah, I don't know what happened to those. I did huff paint thinner at Anthony's house. His stepsister was hot, and she was like, she had her room next to his room, and there was all these like trippy looking pictures, like psychedelic stuff and everything. And she's like, "Do you guys want to get high?" And we were like, "Sure." So we went down into his garage, and she just dumped some paint thinner into a rag, and we huffed it. I mean, I was young and impressionable back then. Nowadays, no, not doing that. I'm not gonna huff paint thinner. She's like, and then look at these pictures, and they'll start moving. I'm like, I'm fucking, I'm, I'm losing my brain cells. I'm losing essential brain cells that are going to assist me later in life. I'm going to graduate at the bottom of my class because I started huffing paint thinner with this bitch. She was cute though, but she was not into us. I don't know what it was. I think she just didn't want us telling on her. So she's like, hey, maybe they won't tell on me if I can get them high. I don't know what it was, but his stepdad was cool as fuck. He had a Harley. He had a nice truck. He was the guy that had an Xbox. I didn't. I had a PlayStation. He had an Xbox. And listen, that Xbox was fun as fuck. We would go over there and play Halo all the fucking time. We'd go over there and we'd play 4-screen Halo. Me, Anthony, Braxton, and I don't know who the other one was. Jordan, I think. Because I was trying to talk to Tyler about it the other day on the podcast that we did. He's like, I didn't really hang out with Anthony. I'm like, you're right, you didn't. Sorry about that. Wish you did. That'd have been cool. He was a nerdy looking dude. He had big old buck teeth and a Jewfro. But he's kind of tannish. I don't know. He could have been from a different country. I don't know. But he was a cool guy. He's a really cool guy. Don't know what happened to him. Have not talked to him in a long, long time. And there's another friend that I have. This was from elementary. My mom and his mom knew each other somehow. I don't know. I don't even know this kid's name, but I remember going to his house. It was in downtown. It was like an old style house in downtown of the city that we lived in. And we went up into his room and we watched Titanic. And we took turns jerking off to the picture scene. Don't know his name. He was a cool guy. He had a lot of cool shit up in his room. Don't even remember his name. I feel like I hung out with him all the time, but it's like, how did I hang out with him all the time? I don't even know his name. I can't even tell you what he looked like. I remember his room was up in the attic, and it was, it's because that was the roof, the attic, and it was all weird. You had to bend down. It was a super weird staircase to get up top, and it was hot. Remember it being hot as fuck up there. Probably a lot of bugs and stuff too. But I remember putting the VHS. I think it was the second. You had to watch the first VHS and then pop in the second VHS to continue that movie, I think. But I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I feel like it was a 2-part VHS, and the titties popped up on the second VHS. We watched the whole first VHS. We fast forwarded through the first VHS to see. He's like, I didn't even know about titties then, so I didn't even know. I was like, Titanic is badass. Anyway, you can see a lot better titties nowadays just on Google. Yeah. So middle school, elementary school, it was cool. There was one kid that got stopped by the dare officer. My buddy Jordan and this other kid, I forget his name. He was weird as fuck. He always wanted to be in the friends group. His mom kept kicking him out of the house. She's like, go play with the kids outside. And he would go, and we were like, please, just go back home. And he's like, I can't go home. I'm like, you're not cool enough to hang out with us. Even though me and Jordan, we weren't really part of the cool crew, but anyway, I don't know. Anyways, he had a squirt gun, and they were walking to school for some reason, and the weird kid had a squirt gun and had it pointed at Jordan, and as the dare officer was heading into school, and the dare officer pulled over and like held a kid at gunpoint. It was weird. And then there was like an announcement, or they had the teachers talk to us. You know, it was, I don't know. He didn't shoot the kid. I know that. It was a squirt gun, or maybe a Nerf gun, or a pellet gun, or I don't know. Weird times. Anyways, I've been going on for a while, and I could definitely keep going. I'll save more of the high school shit for another episode probably, because I got a lot of shit happened in high school. A lot of shit happened in high school. So anyways, adios. Keep all 18 down. We're gonna talk to you again later.